Hey everyone, it's Rob Ryder on Monday, November 16th, 2020, and wanted township officers for Trump. Because what are we going to do about that freaking governor? She just did something again. And while I'm kind of basing this towards Michigan for obvious reasons, applies to any state that has townships as local governments. And so as I was putting this together, I mean, this is God speaking to me. I'm putting this together, and a guy calls me to talk about his mortgage situation. And come to find out, he's really good friends with the supervisor of a township here in Michigan, right? So, and because most of Michigan is covered with townships, there's like 1,200 townships, right? So I just need one of these township supervisors to be like-minded as myself, and we could file the proper complaint that we could do something about that damn governor, right? But because you've been deceived by fork-tongued attorneys sitting there at your conference table, right, representing the township through some municipal association or however that shit's set up, right, that's like a political officer from a communist government, right? So, you've been deceived by these fork-tongued liars, right? And they put it together a system that they don't tell you how it really works. You really don't know what you're doing, right? I mean, you try to do things and it doesn't work. It's like, well, what's that all about? And so I'm going to show you what it's about, right? And how we could probably fix it. Because at the end of the day, the things I'm going to show that are wrong, we could take to the township attorney to get an answer. But if he fails to answer the questions, you, supervisor, always have the right to call emergency management and declare a state of emergency because we're not following the fucking law. And you need an answer, and the attorney won't give it to you. So 911. Right to FEMA. And that'll put an end to the bullshit. We'll get it figured out. We need to call the federal troops in and get this shit figured out. If that's what it takes, well then, let's bring it on them. But that's how it would be done, is through you, a township supervisor, or through the board, or however. We'll get to those fine details in a minute, but you just need to know you've been lied to, right? And that's why the frickin' governor can do what she's doing, even though it's been agreed by the Michigan Supreme Court that it's unconstitutional, right? I mean, I don't know what she's doing now that made it any more constitutional than when they said it was unconstitutional. No, it's just unconstitutional. And the fact of the matter is, and this is the point I want to make, supervisors, please listen closely, she's not the governor. She did not qualify for the office of governor in accordance with the Michigan election law. It just got to read the law and say, well, this is what you need to do to qualify, so show me. And it hasn't happened. And the biggest part of that she didn't do is there is a federal law that has a particular federal oath that says all state executive and judicial officers have to take this oath before they can exercise the powers of their office. And she didn't do it. And the oath that she did file, that's supposed to be, the oath for the from the Michigan Constitution, is a counterfeit. She's using a counterfeit frickin' seal. It's, when you look really close, there's all sorts of things that are wrong. But that's where you need to be, because the devil is in the details. So let's get to that. So anyways, I'm Staff Sergeant Robert Allen Rutluski, United States Army veteran, right? Officially. But you can call me Rob Ryder. You can call me Rob. My email address is quarterrecord@aol.com if you have any questions or comments or whatever, especially if you're a township officer, or you can call me. 616-712-6179, or you can find me at 10955 14 Mile Road Northeast, Oakfield Township, Kenton County, Michigan, United States. That's how it should be, right? 493418664-55, which is our 12-digit zip codes. That's mine. And really, if that's all you put on a letter, that would get the letter to that, would get it to somebody's mailbox. Actually, right to their house. That's your delivery point. They don't want you to know that. That's like your unit number, right? Like they use a suite for a physical address. Well, this 55 is your unit number, which is your physical address. Could be important someday. More on that later. Okay, give me a second to load a few things up, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's just, step through the basic facts, right? We'll look at the Michigan Township Association website, Townships in Michigan, where it shows, right, all the green is controlled by township supervisors. And they say there's like 1,200 of them or something like that, right? So my chances are, I have a better than 1 in 1,000 chance of finding somebody that would agree with me, right, that could figure out how to use their powers by, if they need to, calling emergency management, right? Let's just go get her done and get an answer to why things are the way they are. But, the cities only have these few little white spots. Everything in green is controlled by townships. And they're each individual governments. And each of them has the same freaking power. The state of Michigan has 1,240 townships. That's a good deal. Okay, so what laws govern townships? Well, that's the important thing. If we have all of them, how are they governed? And it's under the general township laws, unless you have a charter township, but most of them are general township laws. 1846. So we'll be looking at those in just a second, right? But, just to show you that it's the right people to be talking to, that's the local government. And, to show you what's happened, I mean, this is clear as example as I can give you. So here is Oakfield Township Oath of Office, right? That's the title. But as we look at it, it's for State of Michigan, County of Kent. Well, I thought Oakfield Township was in Kent County. So why is it now called County of Kent? And technically, the proper name of the state that's created under the first Constitution, 1835, is the State of Michigan, not State of Michigan. All right, so State of Michigan, County of Kent isn't the same jurisdiction as the State of Michigan, Kent County. There's something going on here. But nevertheless, the guy who, claims to be the supervisor solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan, which that's not the proper wording of the oath that's in the Constitution of Michigan. And I will faithfully perform the duty of supervisor of the Township of Oakfield, County of Kent, State of Michigan. Well, I thought he was supposed to be the Kent County, or the Oakfield Township, Kent County, Michigan supervisor. Instead, they have him going into the Township of Oakfield, County of Kent. So, he got elected to be the Oakfield Township, Kent County supervisor. Instead, he's going to the Township of Oakfield, County of Kent, State of Michigan. So, the office he was elected for is vacant. And it says, so help me God, which that just, invalidated this oath to be in the oath that satisfies the Constitution of Michigan. So, that's right in these laws, right? And this is why that's important, because if he was in the proper office, now this is looking at the laws from 1846, right? Chapter 41, Section 64B, the supervisor of a township may place a person under oath on any of his or her statements, right? That would be the person's statements. So that'd be somebody's sworn statement made to the supervisor in his or her official capacity as supervisor. So I should be able to bring to my township supervisor a document to be, turned into a sworn statement. The supervisor of a township may administer the oath of office as provided in Section 1 of Article 11 of the State Constitution of 1963 to township officers. So this is saying that the supervisor is the one who's supposed to give the oath to the other officers. Well, let's see if that's what happened. All right, so first, I say Greg Dean went into the wrong jurisdiction. And, his was, I guess, witnessed by the clerk. Like she's the one doing it. Here's the guy that's going to be on the board of review of the Township of Oakfield, County of Kent, State of Michigan, right? It has nothing to do with Oakfield Township. Not a word in there about Oakfield Township of anything. But this isn't the supervisor that did it. So, it can't be the proper oath done properly according to the state law. We don't need to go any further. Go find out from your attorney how come we're not doing our oaths properly. And show them. Right? Where is that real quick? Right here. No. State Constitution, right? This is what you're supposed to take. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the lowercase Constitution of this state. Not Constitution of the state of Michigan, which is what, Dean did. Constitution of the state of Michigan. Constitution of the state of Michigan. Right? So help me God. I'm afraid that's not in the oath. According to the best of my ability, no other oath, affirmation, or religious test shall be required as a qualification for any office or public trust. So, at the end of the day, all Dean did is, Greg Dean did is took the wrong freaking oath. So make him give you the proper one and claim the office. Or any other supervisor, go claim your office. So, but until then, all of these are wrong. They're in the wrong jurisdiction. There's nobody in Oakfield Township, Kent County, so that I can be registered. Because now here's the rest of the story. Right? Up here under inhabitants of an organized township is a body corporate. That the inhabitants of an organized township are a body corporate and have, in addition to other powers, conferred the following powers and duties: to sue and be sued and appoint necessary agents and attorneys for that purpose, to make contracts necessary and convenient for exercise of their corporate powers, and in addition to the powers that are conferred, the Township Board may investigate any matter that is under the jurisdiction of the township and the authority vested in the township or in an officer under this act. The supervisor or the Township Board, by majority consent of a Township Board member serving, may serve upon a person a subpoena that has been authorized by a court of proper jurisdiction in the county for which the township is situated, compelling the person to appear before the board or the committee of the board, to be examined under oath, or to produce documents or object for inspection and copying. Right? Can you do that, supervisor? Can you subpoena for the oaths of office of Gretchen Whitmer and get them to look at it, and you'll see that they're incorrect. Right? The one that she did is, and I have a copy, we'll look at it. I mean, I got it from the state. I did a FOIA. I got what they said. I said, give me the oaths that the governor filed, and they gave me one that is similar to the one that's in the Constitution, but it's not the same. But she didn't use her full legal name. Right? She did like some of these people here, they're using the middle initial. Now, William Greg Dean, he did his right. If that's the name that's on his driver's license, then that's proper. But Linda L. March is not proper. Matz, right? She has a middle name. That's not her. That's not her legal name. So this is all part of the scheme, right? So I'm not blaming the people that took the office. I'm blaming the people that put the system together that, as people come in, they just go with whatever the system is. We're not attorneys. We shouldn't have to be. But this is what esquires, who are attorneys, did. And esquires are agents of the crown. They're not working for the United States. They're working for the crown. Okay, so what somebody like me would like to do then is put in a form like, where are you? Oh, hang on just a second. Because what I want to do, Mr. Supervisor, is bring this form in here, a sworn statement form from the United States Army. right? And get all the boxes filled in properly. I'll put my statement in. We'll come to the bottom, and according to the, Michigan Compiled Laws, where'd you go? Let's go look at that again. Right, according to 41-64B, the supervisor of a township may place a person under oath on any of his or her statements made to the supervisor in his or her official capacity as supervisor. That's what I want to do. And when I get there, I want to do it on this form and have you fill this side out and get two witnesses, which, would hopefully be two members of the board on this side, and thus making a proper affidavit that the United States Army will say, hey, it is what it says it is, and it's a man's sworn statement. So, now it's foolproof evidence. This can be used in any court in the world as evidence. And I'm going to put on here that, about the fact that the Whitmer doesn't have the proper oath of office. And just to show you what that looks like real quick. Right? This is in 4 U.S.C. 101. I don't know if they tell you people these things. Right, but in Title 4 of the United States Code, Section 101, which is on the flag, seal, seat of government, and the states, you see it's got the little birdie, right? This is a certified document from the government printing office, as long as it's on the computer. As I said in the video yesterday, if you wanted to, you could print this out, have it printed out at the library, and have the librarian put her stamp on it, tell you want to use it for a court case, right? And she will certify it again. It will again be a certified document, right? It came out of the public record. That's what, her stamp would certify. I told a story yesterday that happened to a guy that they were in a court case, and they had brought in some contract book they were reading out of. They said, well, Judge, it says in this book, and they started reading. The judge says, let me see that book. And, he said, yeah, it does. That's it. He found for, the people who brought the book in, because the book is a public record. It's got a library seal in the front of the book. So, it's not hearsay. This is the thing, right? Anybody could have printed this up. But if it has the stamp on it, then it's considered foolproof evidence by federal courts. And in there, it says here in Section 101, so 4 U.S.C. 101, every member of a state legislature and every executive or judicial officer of a state shall, before he proceeds to execute the duties of his office, take an oath in the following form. To wit, I state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. So this is, an oath for the federal government, and the Michigan Constitution has an oath for the Michigan Constitution. But it's not the oath for the federal government, and the federal government didn't say you could add anything to their oath. This is what the federal government wants them to do. I state your name, and that would be your identity. Robert Allen Rytlewski, because, Robert Allen is my given name. People don't have middle names. You got given names. So whatever name is on your driver's license, that's your identity. And, you will see now when you start looking at people's paperwork, like your attorney, your township attorney, he doesn't use his full legal name, right? If you go to court, a judge doesn't use his full legal name. They don't use your proper name on your deed or other documents. This is all part of hiding people's identity and hiding their own, and hiding the fact that we're really not in the United States under the Constitution, because they've set this parallel system up where they've got us to go into a parallel system of United States of America, which I say is King George III's successor's jurisdiction, under the Treaty of Peace 1783. And what's happened since then is under the First Amendment right of association, just like the Methodist Church became an association of the Church of England and came over here, and it's here today as it's an association of the Church of England. That's how it was put together, and it filed a bill in Chancery. Well, I'm sure that's where our Bill of Rights is, filed in the Court of Chancery in England, right? That's the English side of the agreement to the Constitution. But what's not happening is they're not taking this oath. And this oath here, state your names, you solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States, is the oath that satisfies the 6th article of the Constitution. So until you take this oath, you haven't satisfied the 6th article of the Constitution. So you don't have any authority in the United States, period. Right? This oath comes out of a law that was the first law passed by the first Congress after the ratification of the Constitution, and it's in the statutes at large at 1 Stat, STAT 23, right? First book of statutes at large, page 23. An act to regulate time and manner of certain oaths or something like that. And it says right in there, this is the oath that satisfies the 6th article of the Constitution. So why are we arguing about it? Right? It's not happening. So, that's the gist of it. Right? Now, the specifics about what Whitmer and company did, because she's not the only one. What I'm going to tell you is that there isn't any state officer that's taken this oath at any level. And, the parent document, 1 Stat 23, it applies to both officers of the United States and the several states. And so members of the Congress had to take it, and they haven't taken it. The president needs to take it. He hasn't taken it. It goes on and on and on, right? And that the people pretending to be the government haven't taken the proper oaths of office. If you go to court, the judge doesn't have any authority. He didn't take the proper oath of office. The attorney is supposed to be an officer of the court, and so he has to take an oath as an attorney. Then he would have to take this oath also. Well, he hasn't taken the oath of office. Right? Nobody's taken the oath in 4 U.S.C. 101 in the state. And I say that this applies even to you, township officer, that after you properly do this oath in 4 U.S.C. 101, that you also need to do the oath that's for the state constitution, that has been done improperly. I mean, jeepers creepers, just go get a copy of the Constitution and read it. Right? It's, fairly clear, right, that Constitution of this state isn't capitalized in the text of the Constitution, but it certainly is in the one that these people did. Right? Constitution, State of Michigan. It's wrong. So help me God, it's wrong. Township of Oakfield, County of Kent, State of Michigan. Wrong, 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 wrong. And I'm not going to leave until you agree with me that these are wrong. Because once we agree they're wrong, I know you'll go fix them, right? But if you don't believe they're wrong, then some attorney will convince you, well, that's just the way we do it. Don't worry about it. That's okay, right? No, this bullshit is not okay. This is why fucking Whitmer can, have everybody locked down their house, because the supervisors haven't taken proper oath of office. And all of this has led up to this, right? That because all of these things have happened, that the National Voter Registration Law, which is 52 U.S.C. Chapter 205, wasn't done properly. And this has got a executive order in from the president telling the government to do what this law says, and they didn't do it. Right? In fact, that's one of the complaints I put in. And I'm going to spend a little time showing some complaints I put in. If you want to watch, go ahead. But this is, an idea of what I want to put on a sworn statement and bring to, the township. What I've been trying to put into a court case. So let me show you a couple right now, just because I did it and I want to make public record of them anyways. Hang on a second. Actually, before I show the complaints, a few more things. So here's my voter identification card, which by the book is supposed to be called a voter information card, not identification card. Information card. And it's not supposed to have a school district on it. Right? It's in the law. It's written. But this says, right, Oakfield Township, Kent, right, or county, Kent. Okay, then if that's where I am, supposed to be registered at, then why are the ordinances of that township in the name of Township of Oakfield. Right? Township of Oakfield Ordinance Code. And if we go to page 60, or 25, excuse me, real quick, right? That's in this particular chapter where it talks about the sewer connections. Right? The term township shall be construed to mean the Township of Oakfield, and the term county shall be construed to mean the County of Kent, both of the state of Michigan. Right? Well, I thought it was Oakfield Township. But they're saying, no, it's Township of Oakfield, County of Kent, not Kent County, state of Michigan, not the state of Michigan that, is the proper name according to the first Constitution. No, we're not using that stuff. It's a whole parallel jurisdiction. The board shall be construed to mean the Township Board of the said Township of Oakfield, the legislative and governing body thereof. But when they get together, they call themselves the Oakfield Township Trustee Board. Right? They don't call themselves a Township Board of the said Township of Oakfield. So, this is all ass backwards for a reason, guys. I'm not saying you did it. I'm saying this is what you're dealing with. This is why you can't get anything done. If you've been trying to do the right thing and been stymied, well, here's a reason. Now, here's another reason. If you want to do the voter registration, you have to give them, certain information, right? And they want your residence address. Must include. But nobody will tell you what your residence address is. The address that they assume you're going to use is actually called a property address, but it's not a residence address. And it's up to the township, the local government, to give out the address. But the other thing is, look at the way they want it. They want street and number, or RR and box number. Right? Not number and street the way we normally do it, but no, like 14 Mile Road 1300 or 1300. This is when I was actually using, this is actually the address to the Township Hall I used one time. Right? And then your mailing address, same thing. Is it different? Well, I shouldn't have to know these things. I should go to the township and say, hey, I'm new in the township. I want to register. Get registered as an elector, not as a voter. Get told, here's your residence address and here's your mailing address, right? And go down and get my freaking driver's license changed. But I can't do that. So, because this is a Michigan form, and they got it backwards. They won't tell you why they do it this way. And I've tried to get my township to tell me what my address is. I tried to get the Kent County to tell me. Tried to get the freaking road district, Kent County Road Commission to tell me. No one will tell me what my residence address is. Post office won't tell me what residence address is. They'll say it's official address, property address, situs address, right? But they won't say residence address. And yet there it is on the form. So, yeah, it's kind of shit we're dealing with. All right, hang on again. I've had to stop this video 3 or 4 times. That's probably my 5th time trying to start this video. So I can't remember what parts I may have shown before. But did I show this picture? All right, this is, this is basically a picture of my township having a meeting. And there's a gold fringe flag behind the frickin', behind the commissioner. Well, a gold fringe flag is an army flag. And any place that army flag is a military jurisdiction. And so I wanted to show, the reason it's important is because under the UCMJ, right, the purpose subject to this chapter, or person subject to this chapter, right, including those awaiting discharge, that is really any veteran. Veterans haven't gotten a discharge order, so we have not been discharged, right? If I said this before already, forgive me. I can't remember if I said it in this version or not, so I want to make sure I covered it, right? But this is most of us. We are under the UCMJ because we never got a discharge order. And they're under the UCMJ because in a time of war, they're serving with or accompanying an armed forces in the field, right? So it's a federal jurisdiction. You just call in the federal troops, supervisor. You got it sitting right behind you. All right, that flag right there, that allows you to pick up the phone and call FEMA. All right, you can you can call in the National Guard and find out why these people don't have proper oath of office. Okay, I wanted to make sure I showed that. So we get. Okay, let's start with this one. because this, this actually, now look what this is. It's a notice of hearing, and this is from the 63rd, although they don't say it, it's the 63rd District Court, right? That's what this address is for. Where I had filed a complaint, where I was the plaintiff, and they made the defendant Whitmer, Gretchen, Esther, at the Capitol, right, in person, right, and this is where the defendant is required to attend this hearing, right? So Gretchen Esther Whitmer, or Whitmer, Gretchen Esther, as they put it on here, was supposed to appear in person on 9/17/20, 8:30 a.m. in front of Judge Jeffrey O'Hara, which is a 63rd District Court Chief Judge. Right? Now, this was made by this, by this judge. I mean, this isn't playtime. Somebody from his office sent this to me in the mail. And it had to do with this complaint that I had sent to him. Right? I mailed it directly to the Chief Judge, where I used the felony complaint form we have in Michigan. And people state of Michigan, right? Defendant was Gretchen Esther Whitmer at the Capitol. The victim's United States. I'm the complaining witness when it happened, because I said it basically happened whenever she did her oath of office. Witnesses was me. And So anyways, what did I complain about? The complaining witness says that on the date and at the location described, the defendant, contrary to law, defendant avoided the promissory oaths required to satisfy the 6th Article of the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan of 1963, and is impersonating the public officer, Governor of Michigan. The 6th Article of the Constitution of the United States mandates that this Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. The United States Code contains the laws of the United States, and Section 101 of Title IV of the United States Code, that'd be your 4 U.S.C. 101, mandates that every executive and judicial officer of the state shall, before he proceeds to execute the duties of his office, take an oath in the following form, to wit, I, A.B., that would be your name, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. The defendant, and that would be Gretchen Esther Whitmer, has not complied with the laws of the United States and executed the oath in 4 U.S.C. 101. It's a one-sentence freaking thing. That's what happened. The defendant simulated a legal process violating the Michigan election law, which is Act 116 of 1954, and the Constitution of Michigan of 1963, when she filed a counterfeit oath of office to simulate satisfying the Constitution's Article 11, Section 1 oath of office. The defendant did not identify herself with her full legal identification, Gretchen Esther Whitmer, that would be her full legal name. The text of the oath is grammatically altered, and the person administering the oath is unqualified to do so. According to Michigan Compiled Law, MCL 15.37, a notary public cannot administer the governor an oath. That's where you'll find it, Supervisor, MCL 15.37. Right, a copy of what was filed with the Michigan Depth of State, that's what they put, DEPT, is included with this felony complaint. Not only did defendant fail to qualify for the office of governor, but the avoidance of the promissory oaths of the sovereign, that would be the United States, is a common law act of treason. Defendant is a traitor to the United States and is impersonating a public officer of Michigan in a scheme to coerce the civilian population of the United States or to influence the policy and affect the conduct of the U.S. government by coercion. And a complaint. Complaining witness agrees to file security for cause, Anyways, I actually did this right here, as you see it, and I sent it in the mail. And this is what they sent me back. Right? And what he's showing me is a mirror image of what should have happened by me going to you. Right? I should go to my supervisor with my sworn complaint. Right? Whatever we need to do to swear to it. And you should be issuing this hearing summons to have as a subpoena Now it's supposed to go through the court to get the subpoena and so forth, but you have the authority to get it done. Get the subpoena. Subpoena the Gretchen Esther Whitmer, and ask her for her oaths. Right? Because here's the oath that they have for her on file. Right? This is what you get if you FOIA the election department of the Department of State or the Secretary of State. Right? Where it says, I do solemnly swear I'll support the Constitution of the United States. And hey, there's that improper grammar, Constitution of the State, or capitalization. Right? That's not correct. And it says Gretchen Whitmer, and that's not her full legal name, right? So she did not identify herself on an oath of office. Right? Sworn before a notary. And a notary cannot, as I showed you, sorry, it can't happen. This is of no value, right? So no matter what else the woman did, she didn't qualify for the office of governor. Therefore, she has no authority. And all of her freaking executive orders are just false official statements. Right? So, because of that, I did a couple other complaints on the same type of stuff where I have a court case open in the, United States District Court in New York. 120 CV 08823 CM. That would be the chief judge, right? She's got my court case. And I had filed a motion for leave to file responsive pleading, something I've been talking about in my last few videos, right? Where because I am a veteran, right, an armed force of the United States, a person subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice, desiring to file my report of Uniform Code of Military Justice offenses in a form of responsive pleading in this case. Because UCMJ is really just part of Title 10, which, the United States District Court should have jurisdiction over. So I'm just claiming, well, I'm still under it, and I want to use it to file a complaint. And here we go, right? Where, myself, subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice, accused Gretchen Esther Whitmer, a.k.a. Gretchen Whitmer, the alleged governor of Michigan and commander-in-chief of the Michigan National Guard, of various offenses in the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and demand the government of the United States and her conspirators sedition and restore Michigan's Republican form of government. Charge 1. That'd be Article 83 of the UCMJ, fraudulent enlistment, appointment, or separation. Specification. Gretchen Esther Whitmer did not execute the oath of office found in 4 U.S.C. 101, oath by members of legislatures and officers, nor the oath found in the Constitution of Michigan 1963, both of which are required for her to qualify for the office of governor of Michigan, resulting in vacancy in the office of governor, her fraudulent appointment as commander-in-chief of the Michigan National Guard, and obstruction of the Republican form of government for Michigan. All right, you getting the hint? I mean, this is the stuff that's going on. Just because she didn't take the proper oath. Spies. That'd be charge 2, Article 106. Specification. Gretchen Esther Whitmer conceals her identity and lurks in the Michigan State Capitol building, usurping the office of governor of Michigan and commander-in-chief of the Michigan National Guard. Charge 3, Article 107. False official statements. Specification. The scores of executive orders issued by Gretchen Whitmer, a governor of Michigan, are all false official statements because she's not the governor. I declare under penalty of perjury the foregoing to be true and correct. All right, and so hey, this is filed into this court case. I'm waiting for an answer from the judge. See what she has to say. But because I've been doing things, I'm always doing stuff. I went back to this thing about pleas of the crown, and so anybody who's old English law knows pleas of the crown got some power, right? How do we use it? Now, in the video that I did yesterday, what I got out of it mostly is that if you want to put something into Chancery Division, you need to call it a plea, right? Plea, go to Chancery Division. Right? So pleas of the crown, treason by counterfeit seal, crime against the United States. Now, this is really interesting, right? This is how devious these people are. And it's all about me, right? That accused the alleged governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, and conspirators of using a counterfeit seal of the state of Michigan. All right, so hey, is this one filed in there too? Yes, it is, right? It's filed. This is filed in that court case, too. Look at that. Still waiting to get an answer. So in the preamble of the Constitution of Michigan of 1835, it states blah, 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 blah. But at the end it says, by our delegates in convention assembled, mutually agree to form ourselves into a free and independent state by the style and title of the state of Michigan, and do ordain and establish the following constitution for the government of the same. Right? And then in an act to provide for the Great Seal of the lowercase state of Michigan, Act 19, 1963, mandated that the Great Seal shall be comprised of a coat of arms of the state around which shall appear the words, right? Look at all that. All that's in lowercase. Great Seal of the state of Michigan, AD, da-da-da-da. Has to be just like that. Well, that isn't how they're doing it, right? The conspirators use a seal with incorrect wording and capitalization. This is what this, the Great Seal says now. The Great Seal of the state of Michigan, AD, da-da-da-da. But that isn't what it said to say. It didn't say to put the, and all of these words were lowercase. That stuff matters, right? You know what the difference is? It's a counterfeit, right? Counterfeiting a seal is a common law act of treason and a violation of an act for the punishment of certain crimes against the United States, which is the Crimes Act of 1790. And the government of the United States has a duty to end these conspirators' treason and crimes against the United States. I declare a penalty of perjury, the foregoing to be true and correct. Executed on, it was just a couple days ago. So I'm waiting to see what that court has to say with that too. But, basically, this is what I should be putting into the township. Right, I'll swear to it. Right, I just need a township supervisor to understand that this is what needs to be said and do it through this township. And do it on the form I showed you. I'll go get it in a second. Before we do that, again, look at these are all the areas of Michigan that are controlled by township supervisors. Over 1,200 of them. You can't tell me one of you brothers doesn't agree with me. I'm sure you do, right? You hadn't heard it before. So, I do want to show that form again. So give me just a second. This form here, right? This is the sworn statement form the Army uses. So I would suggest this is what we use. If we fill in all these blanks, get it done properly, the Army will agree that it is a man's sworn statement, and that's good enough for me, right? What I need is, the proper officer to do the right-hand side and have 2 witnesses. And so since it takes 3 people to do the business of the board, maybe we can get all together and get her done. Okay, well, that's what's going on, right? This isn't, not playing here. All these things are wrong. And the township officers could fix it, right? And the way to fix it is to, do what it says in these, in this right here. Where are you, right? In Michigan, it's called the Revised Statute, 1846, Chapter 16, the powers and duties of townships. The elections and duties of township officers and divisions of the townships, right? We need to do this. This is how we become an elector instead of a voter, because now we'll be residing in a township, in an organized township where the clerk is there to organize and put you in the township. But right now they have you all in the wrong venue or wrong jurisdiction, right? And, welcome to America. I hope I hear from you soon. All right. Have a great day now.